everyone, I'm Quietly Gaming, and we are returning with the last part of the Rogue story playthrough. Last time we went out and we saved a bunch of people from slavery, and then we got challenged by Malala to find the treasures before her Yellow Jackets do, or possibly see the end of the Rogues Guild. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna go ahead and end this quest real quick and then get on with the show. Where we last, that Malala's got some bullocks, and it seems she's well done with aught that what whiffs a pirate's stock. I don't take kindly to Cole's pulling me strings, but the shrew's right. The code's been broken and we've a job to do. For the sounds of it, though, them coves knew what they were about when they cloyed them treasures. I'll need ye at ye best. It's time you learned the art of mugging. Rough up a Cole in just the right way, and he'll give up more than what ye'd get if ye'd just plain knocked him on his arse. Me and the lads will be busy whittling the story on them bitten baubles, so ye free to head out and sharpen ye skills. Might even be as you'll pocket some extra blunt while you're at it, eh? Nice, okay, so... Ooh, and we got a new skill from this, which is cool. Mug. Delivers an attack with a potency of 150. Additional effect, increase target's damage taken by 5%. Additional effect, increases the chances of additional items being dropped by target if Mug is dealt before or as the finishing blow. Nice, that's pretty cool. Alright. Level 20. So we have this one and 25, and then we're done because the level 30 quest is going to end up being Ninja, which is the one that follows after this and will be part of a different series. So let's go ahead and take a peek. Actually, before we do that, we should... Yep, okay. Go ahead and take a peek. Been practicing your dance steps quietly because we're about ready to run rings around Captain Malala and her squads. The Yellow Jackets been pressing their investigation into the treasures, what was cloyed from the Maelstrom tub, but as you know, we've got our own network of coves that don't miss naught of the goings-on about town. As for the sharp end of the job, it'll be you, me, Underfoot, and the Stray. Let's get down to business, eh? Let's go. I'm ready. Kev's late to the feast, so I'll just make sure we're all on the same page for the now. When ye get down to it, you have two goals for this job. Fight back them 3 treasures and mill the coves that cloyed them in the first place. You can be sure that the Yellow Jacket shrew be doing her damnedest to beat us to the marks. And seeing as the fate of the guilds is at stake, we'll best to not drag our eaters on this one. I say we grapple them baubles before she's ever lifted anchor, and give her a proper reason to rage against us rogues. You seem awful keen on this contest all of a sudden, Jack. Aye, well, here's the thing. I sent me a grievance to the theocracy regarding the Shrew's challenge, but them paper snuffers don't care a whittle as long as one of us gets the job done. So I figured I'd sail with the wind rather than against it. Besides, we wouldn't want to shrink our duties and force poor old Captain Malala to blunder about in the scary Darkmans now, would we? How very gentlemanly of ye. Well, them's the cards that we've been dealt anyway. Now stow ye quibs and let's hear what ye've learned about them bloody treasures already. Aye, the treasures according to the manifest of that Maelstrom vessel We're looking to buy back the Silurian Star, the Silver Sorrows, and something called the Black Sarcophagus. Aside from the fancy names, I was able to whittle a few more details. The Silurian Star, for starters, is a big old blue diamond that shines like, well, like the stars, I suppose. Then we've got the Sea of Sorrows, a pair of earrings that what once graced the wattles of the Sultana of Ul'dah. There's a tale there, but one what don't concern us at present. Lastly is the Black Sarcophagus thing. I'm afraid that one remained mystery no matter how much I poked and prodded. In any case, all three of those trinkets was recorded as spoils from official privateering raids. Now, as you know, a pirate will usually sell his plunder through a reliable fence. Sometimes, though, holding an auction is the only way to offload goods, what is too extravagant or just too bleeding rare for the average colt to deal with. All three wondrous treasures fell into the auction-only category. When the bidding began in Aleport, the theocracy weighed in with its ample purse, made some unmatched offers, then organized a tub for the merchandise to be shipped back to Limsa. And that's when our marks swooped in and picked their transport clean. I had a few wits with them Maelstrom sailors as survived the attack, and they pointed the fingers at the grinning curs. Problem is, not one cur's been hiding, nor hair of the curs, not to mention their bloody ship since the raid. Oh. Sorry I'm late, Jack, but you'll want to hear this. Some of the cargo that was cloyed from the transport was just found during the routine inspection at the La Thagrin checkpoint. The La Thagrin? Have the curs made landfall then? And what are the treasures? Any mention of them? Not that I've heard, but the Jacks ain't done shaking out all the boxes yet. Then we'd better get our eyes out there. Quick like. Quietly, underfoot. You're fresh for a run, ain't ye? Come on, lass. I'll race you to the checkpoint. I want our race. You owe me a pint, quietly. Japs aside, though, it looks like Kev was right about the cargo. From what I've been able to catch from them swads at the gate, it seems a peddler's was boned for carrying goods that was known to be aboard that transport. They carted the poor sod away in chains, but the cargo itself is still there. I saw a pair of jackets carrying boxes up the wooden ramp. We need to know what's in them crates. I get the feeling they won't open their gains for the asking, though. Not while this fool's challenge is going on. Do you think you could skulk over there and see if they've found them treasures yet? Oh yeah, I can. Up the wooden ramp, huh? Ah, that one. Two yellow jacket soldiers are inspecting a seized cargo. Approach them while cloaked with your hidden ability and attempt. Okay, I'm already cloaked. The two yellow jackets are discussing the contents of the crates. And this is all junk. No diamonds, no earrings, and no bloody black sarcophagus. It looks like we'll just have to lean hard on that skinny peddler if we're to find them treasures. The sergeant says the merchant will still still pleading ignorance. Claims he was hired to carry the goods through the checkpoint and not else. What a pile of puggle shite. I'm guessing the pirates will split the cargo and are trying their luck at every checkpoint. Captain Malala has already given orders to double the guards and inspect every cart and wagon that comes through. Nice. So they found Na of value. Then thought we'd lost the contest before we'd even properly started. But be that as it may, something's don't add up here. Why would ye order a coal to carry goods through the checkpoint? No smuggler is that daft, surely. And even if by some miracle of the gods ye squirm through Thagrin without raising a fuss, why would ye risk taking merchandise back to the city what ye cloyed it from? No, there's a bigger picture here, and we need to take a step back to see it. Assuming the Curs hired this peddler to do their dirty work, there'll be someone in the shadows as brokered the deal, and I just happen to know a cove what makes it his business to oversee these kinds of shady arrangements. The thing is, this black marketeer bloke changes his haunt depending on how the breeze blows. Quite literally, in fact. I seem to recall the Navigator's Veil being shifted by the westerly this morning, so that put him... the Till's Rest. Nice and close. Why don't we go ask him a few questions before we head back to the guild? Get him! Had enough? The winter can warm me bunk. Nice. I pride myself on my memory of faces, but yours is unknown to me. Are you an earnest customer or an inquisitive annoyance? I must be sure of your intentions. The dance is old, but the name is new. Put away your daggers, rogue. I have peddled my wares to your kind since the upright thieves stalked the night. Speak, what would you have of this humble merchant? 'Tis torment the cold, say, Grandad. We've come for information on the smuggling job. There was this peddler what was caught at the Thagrin checkpoint moving merchandise from the grinning curs. Pleaded innocent even when he had the screws put to him. Ye wouldn't know aught about the deal, would ye? Every last sordid detail. Not a single grain of stolen sand passes through the shadows without my knowledge. But such prickly wisdom lodges tightly to one's throat. What have you brought to ease the pain of its passage? Spare me theatrics, Grandad. Here is your usual purse. The sum is paid. The deal is made. May my answer sate your fickle hunger. Your hapless peddler was indeed innocent. He was but a beast of burden employed by associates of the grinning curs, and likely knew not of his fright's tainted nature. Upon, if you will, a convenient decoy. There are those among my acquaintances who specialize in providing such services. Aye, that's what I thought. The curs wanted the coal to get caught, and now the jackets have had a taste. They'll waste their time yapping every shite pie what comes through their checkpoints. Meanwhile, the real treasure is hidden away in the dark man's, along with the grinning curs. Not the dark man's, Master Rogue, the mist. Aside from the traveling merchant, the curs associated have spent coin on another piece for this little game. A navigator. One who has practiced in piloting a vessel through the Doxy's pole. The gods only know how many ships have sailed into that fog soup and never come out again. And that's where ye say the curs have gone to ground? Now, there's a trick that took some bollocks. Once their hunted tubs was sitting dimmer in the mist, though, it wouldn't have been easy to have these associates of their ferry the junk goods to Lanoska. Then the canny coves just needed to wait for the peddler to get boned and draw the gaze of the yellow jackets inland. We need to strike now, and soon as they learn the coast is clear, they'll flee for open waters. A fair appraisal of events. Now that you know the location of your marks, however, it will not be so difficult to track them down. The Doxy's pole is once an impenetrable shroud, but ever since the calamity, the mists are far less constant. Narrow your search to the heaviest banks, and you will soon uncover those who wish to remain unseen. But now, a warning. The mist conceals other dangers besides the dogs you seek. A careless step may land you upon the chopping block. The chopping block? You can't mean... Seems I've found myself another lead to look into. You hurry on back to Jack and tell him what we've learned so far. Got it. Honestly, I think that Milala has something to do with it, and that there's gonna be a trap waiting, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Go. I'm ready. About time, lass. Ye was gone so long I almost sent stray after ye. What happened to Underfoot? So our marks and their bitten baubles are snuck into the Doxy's pole. Inside the Doxy's pole, eh? I'll not discount the old man's warning, but we may not have a bit better chance to crash the curs and grabble them treasures. We board their ship right now, you, me, and Keb. I suppose we'll be needing ourselves a tub for the voyage. I'll have wid with the Swartz and see what the dry dock can spare us by way of ship and a reliable crew. Get your kit together and meet us there. Jack. Alright, quiet quietly. I've pulled in some favors, and there's a crew what'll get us close enough to scamper aboard the Kerr's vessel. It'll be cramped up on that deck. If we try to mill the whole lot at once, we'll soon find ourselves up against the rails. So, we'll go in quick and quiet and try to knock them off a few at a time. Well, lads, are ye eager to test ye sea legs? I'm ready. Ah. Boat. I'll sink me stabbers into the captain. Those two back there are yours. Follow me quietly. Us, but they'll never find what's left ye. Well. Slippery bastard. Got 'em, boys. Jack, I found one of them treasures. Unless there's another fist-sized blue diamond on board, it's gotta be the Cerulean Star. As for them other two baubles, I've tossed the captain and been through the hold ilm by ilm, but there's naught else here. Well, we'll just have to ask all sweet like, won't we? Spit it out, Cure. Where are you keeping the rest of ye treasure? Huh. You think I'd spill me guts to the likes of you, rogue? Maybe you wouldn't, at that, but what about this partner ye working with? How'd ye? Oh, we don't need no partner. So, ye telling me this was all ye own idea? Ye woke up one day and decided he'd attack a maelstrom transport right off the coast of Aleport, then disappear into the loving embrace of the Doxy's Pull. Not exactly your style, is it? The Grinning Cures are too bleedin' famous for being the crew what turned their snouts up at privateerin' in favor of keeping the old ways. Ye've only escaped the Yellow Jackets' grip this long by clawing on ye bellies and snatching scraps what fell from the table. Ye ain't the type to sink ye teeth into a Navy-owned vessel, no matter the prize. Aye, well, maybe there ain't no profit in being cautious no more. The age of pirates is swiftly coming to an end. Marilib won't be stopped. Not by the piddling little crew like mine. That's why we've thrown our lot in with the executioners. That blue rock was just our share of the loot, and the scraps from the table. Like he said, if you want them other trinkets, then you'll have to take it up with our new mates. One job at a time, lass. First, we need to get these stinking coves and their tub back to the docks. The executioners. Ooh. Putting aside the issue, who gave the orders, there's no doubt that these was the coves as raided the Maelstrom ship. Now, for a punishment, what fits the crime? I was informed that a certain well-known pirate ship was spotted weighing anchor at the Moorbury dry docks. I assume this was your work. Aye, you missed all the excitement, Captain, but never mind ye. The Cerulean Star is back, and Bob, and our sneaky little fables. Oh. And these must be the grinning curs? Degenerate fiends! How dare you ply your filthy trade in Limsian waters? How many innocent sailors were massacred that you might sate your vile avarice? Every one of your kind ought to be lined up and shot. A musket ball is the only answer for this rampant display of lawlessness. Wait. Do you mean to just execute them here in the bloody docks? At least take the buggers into custody first. Handing them over to you is lawful punishment. Handing them over to you for lawful punishment, the punishment will satisfy the demands of the code just as well. We've already got the answers to our questions, so feel free to take them away. Do not presume to give me orders, rogue. You only meant to capture these villains and their ill-gotten treasure by employing unsavory, unconscionable means. Why, you've not more than pirates yourselves. These bastards ain't worth a true pirate's spit. The Upright Thieves was formed to protect us from ourselves. Now they're just hunting dogs for the Admiral. Marilib yanked the leash and another buccaneer disappears. You rogues are traitors to your own kind. If I hadn't been for you... Aye, go on then. Blame me and my co's for ye own failings. Ye knew what ye was about when ye defied the code. Ye knew we'd be after ye. We're done here. There's still 2 treasures left, rogue, and I mean to claim them both. Consider this contest of ye's, Captain. Turns out this fish we've trying to hook is a shark, and it might swallow ye whole. Been work the ship quietly. First blood is ours. How'd ye take to fighting a sea? There's a few as can drop an opponent as quick as a rogue, but ye don't exhaust yourself flailing ye blades as the tougher coves. Ah, that goes double for what ye've mates on ye flanks. If you notice yourself starting to flag, there's naught wrong with pulling back from time to time and staggering attacks with each other to keep the pressure on. I've said this afore, lass, but I'll need ye sharp enough to carve steel for what's to come. I'm afraid this'll be more of a challenge than ever what that little shrew was bargaining for. That's assuming the curs wasn't lying about the executioners, and the executioners are who I bloody think they are. Twixt you and me, though, I'm hoping the name is just some laughable coincidence. Oh, there, quietly. We've a rough job ahead of us. And that's facts. Matters are tangled enough, what with the Malala's mort snapping at our heels, but we still managed to garble what first trinkets without too much fuss. Biting back them other two treasures, though, that'll be a different story. Once the stray gets here, I'll explain what, or more to the point, who we're up against. Alright, we have two baubles left on the list. The Silver Sorrows and the Black Sarcophagus. Let's see where we're at. Wait, where's Paramu? Underfoot? He's still looking to whittle the tail behind the bleeding sarcophagus. We'll not be cloying that stickler until we've at least an inkling as to what the bloody thing looks like. Treasures aside, I've been doing some digging of me own into these executioner allies of the grinning curs. And I'm afraid the name weren't no coincidence. Quietly, you've heard of the bloody executioners, I hope. It seems them curs was feeding from the fabled one of the nation's greatest pirate powers. This ain't no ordinary crew of cutthroats, lass. Within Limsa Lominsa, the bloody executioners wield a power and influence second only to the Admiral herself. They was none too fond of Marileb or her prohibition on piracy, and it was only an overwhelming threat posed by the Garlean Empire what eventually convinced them to play nice with the theocracy. But pirates ain't ones to play nice for long. Now that Hifner ain't around to helm the ship, the solidarity of the bloody executioners has begun to show cracks. All the strongest captains and lieutenants begun to form their own factions and are scabbing to claim the top chair for themselves. Of course, not one bloody cove can agree with one another on which way the executioners ought to sail. Among these few factions, though, is a group what is pushing to break free of the Admiral's grip completely. Turns out these reformists, as they call themselves, was the ones as took the grinning curs under their wing. Which means they've got possession of the last two treasures we've yet to cloy. Rumors around town say that even for executioners, these coves bloody and ruthless and not to be crossed. We should sit this one out, Jack. Piss on Malala's contest. This ain't worth this kind of grief. We'd be inviting the wrath of a crew so large and dangerous that even the Admiral ain't keen on coming to blows with them. if they ever came after us, large or small, it don't much matter. They broke the code when they hit that maelstrom tub. Aye, the grinning crews are paying for the crime, but we'd be poor, sodden excuses for rogues if we let the real culprits carry on unpunished. I mean, to see this job to the end, and that means biting back them treasures and handing out proper justice to them as deserved. But Jack, listen. With all the infighting going on at present, us stabbing a short blade into one faction's toe ain't like to bring the whole executioner's crew down on our heads. Besides, them reformist buggers are so far split from the main mob that they've been avoiding the city altogether. Now, it's about time we got to work. Quietly, eager to track down our black market contact. I set him to looking into the Cur's new allies a while back, so he should have some answers for us by now. The veil was lifted by the Southernly this morn. It'll put the old man in his haunt in Lower Lanoska. Here, take the sack of blunt and pay a visit to the House of Sticks. That's Cobalt territory, if you didn't know. The old man bribes them with ore and hires the biggest and meanest saws as bodyguards. Just be ready for your approach to be challenged. Challenge. Okay, sure. Hello, Mr. Cobalt. Welcome to the House of Sticks, young rogue. You must excuse my hireling's enthusiasm for greeting visitors. Now, have you any cumbersome baggage of which I might relieve you before you begin our conversation in earnest? A heavy burden for one of your tender years to bear, but it weighs with balance the scales. The sum is paid and the deal is made. Let us speak of those reformists. This faction is so wronged the code now seeks to peddle one of its stolen treasures. The earrings, better known as the Silver Sorrows. The deal is said to take place in Costa del Sol. The buyer, a moneyed merchant from the golden stands of Ul'dah. The earrings will be out in the open, vulnerable. I would target the moment of transaction were I so inclined, as the gentleman up there by the cabin appears to be, for he purchased this self-same information. Though he attempts to disguise his identity, the stench of a soldier yet lingers. I know not where one such as he came to learn of my existence, but I suspect he works for the certain yellow-coated captain. Brave she is, but foolish. Stumble blindly into the underworld, and your groping hands will not save you from the holes at your feet. Sudden shall be her fall. Welcome back, Wiley. What information did the old man have on them reformists? Looking to unload them earrings, are they? And an Ulden, no less. Can't say, as I'm surprised to hear the buyers from out of town. Ye won't find many Limsians willing to melt coin on aught them coves resellin'. Only dafts of sods would go about funding them as means to pull down the admiral. Huh? One of Milala's lackeys arrived at the house before ye. How did they know? Bah. Them curs we captured must have crackled during the shrew's interrogation. We'll have to assume the Yellow Jackets know what we know, and that means we'd best get our arses to Casa de Sol right bleeding now. I'll handle this one, Jack. You and quietly can wait here for Puramu. Oi, Eb, what in the hell is she playing at? After her last, this ain't a solo job. She knows this ain't a solo job. I told you to wait at the guild. I don't need... Well, it might be as I could use an extra mort in the shadows, after all. Jack has his mind set on punishing the executioners, but me, I just want to skulk in, employ them silver bits, and skulk out. I reckon that if I could manage that without no one the wiser, then they wouldn't know who to come after. Finish the job without dragging me daggers, you know? Drawing me daggers, you know? It ain't exactly true to the code, but the shield of the underworld honor won't stop them bloody killers from cutting me mates' throats and setting the sisters a glimmer. The guild's the only place what offers to take in a pirate stray like me, and I'm not seeing it burn to the ground. The deal's about to start. Say the wid when ye been to head in. Sure, let's go. Alright, here's what we know. The rich merchant what's come over from Ul'dah in some old mate, Master Gegamerchu. The coal as owns Casa de Sol. Gegamerchu's taken his guards in dancing dells and pranced off down the beach someplace, given over the use of the entire resort to his friend. Seems she didn't want an audience for her bargain with the reformists, which, as it happens, works out well for us. We'll wait until they're busy hanging over price, then snatch the sorrows and hop the twig before they realized Autumnus. Sound like a plan? Go. There. The players arrived. The reformists, Countercoin, and the Ul'dah buyer as setting up for this on the southeast platform. The earrings ought to be nearby. Think about who are all those other coals? The place was meant to be empty. I see some nasty looking blokes in Ul'dah garb. And are those mammoths? Ugh. That merchant brought along a whole bloody entourage. I've gone and got ahead of myself. I should have realized this job never be that easy. We'll have to mill a few of them bodyguards first, I reckon. You don't want to fight through a forest ablaze should ye get caught sneaking about up on them narrow walkways. Jack, I thought I'd... Stow your excuse, love. I know full well what you were about. Ye start going soft on us, though, and it'll be less, like losing me arms. I can't take on the bloody executioners all by myself. It's only 'cause I got two rogues like you and Underfoot and Quietly here that the guild can take the jobs it does. When our coves walk the shadows, it's the bleeding pirates what do the trembling. Remember that, Keb. We ain't some two guild robbers what piss their breeches when their daddy dandles caught in the honey pot. We're the knives in the Darkmans, and no bastard wants to blade with the likes of us. I see you've not changed your mind then. You'll need all the stabbers ye can get, and I promise mine'll be there when you need 'em. Min, now let's carve a path to that platform and bite back them earrings. Kev, you hide yourself down on the dock in case the Marts escape during the fight. Quietly, you and me'll split up and mill the guards as we go. If them puppets as concern me it's them puppets that concern me the most. I suggest ye crash them little buggers afore they spring any rum fun. Creep in as close as ye dare, then give 'em a good old solid clout from behind. It ain't the most original strategy, but that don't make it less lethal. Once ye done with the first group, slip back into the shadows and move on to the next. Not to it, eh? I'll head over to the back while you start from the front. Let's wrap this up before them jackets blunder in and scare off our marks. rogues? No one mentioned aught about rogues. Well, what in the hells do you think you're doing? I'm conducting business transaction on behalf of the bloody executioners. Do you understand what that means? Do you know what they'll do to you? Aye. I'm all afright. Odd, then. What e're the ones who's shaken? It don't matter to me who ye work for. Your boss broke the code, and we're here to collect. Those, be the silver sorrows, then? I'm sure ye paid a caravan of coin for them shiny baubles, but I doubt they're worth your life. Let's have them, then. Oh, wait, damn you. You should know that this personage is extremely influential member of the East Aldarnian Trading Company. Surely you've heard of it. If the threat of this reprisal will not stay your hand, then consider the political ramifications of interfering with a foreign dignitary. The Admiral would not desire you to damage Limsian relations with Ul'dah. Yes, exactly. I am very highly placed in Ul'dah's society. I have powerful friends who would not be pleased were you to mistreat me in any fashion. And you must understand the Silver Sorrows are a historical treasure, a gift once bestowed upon the Sultana Nananash Ulnasha by her companion. The earrings were later stolen from the royal vault, and we'd lost hope of ever recovering them. That I might so easily purchase them thus is a miracle, and return on these trinkets will be, that is to say, the sorrows must be returned to Ul'dah. Can you not look the other way for the sake of my nation's pride? Ye must think me some dull-witted thug. If this deal was being made on behalf of ye country, then why are ye sneaking about and sorting with pirates? An excellent point. One might doubt your quality of character were you to continue with such feeble fabrications. You need only entrust those earrings to me, should you truly wish to see them returned to Ul'dah, that is. After all, 'twas to fulfill that very purpose that the theocracy bid on the sorrows in the first place. Bit late there, aren't ye, Captain? I think you'll agree this round belongs to us. On the contrary, my dear scoundrel, I made the winning move the moment I knew you were dealing with the merchant of Ul'dah. I come bearing an official order of seizure authorized by the Admiral herself. She will not be harmed. You will not be harmed, and you must insist that you cooperate with this reclamation of unlawfully obtained goods. Though Casa de Sol's private property is nevertheless lies within state-governed territory. Come along quietly, and we need not inconvenience Master Gurgaju any further. These suspects will be taken into Yellowjack custody, and do not concern yourself with the Silver Sorrows. They'll be quite safe with me. Wow, we did all the work, and she comes in and swoops the damn earrings. Bah! The hells take that canary-colored harpy. We might as well have handed the thing to her on a velvet cushion. I'll go find Underfoot and help with his digging. There's still the last treasure out there, and ye can be sure the reformists won't be giving it up without a fight. Aye, you do that. Good luck to you, love. Oh, there you are. You left before events had truly been decided, and I thought you deserved to know the score. The Ul'dah merchant has acquiesced our requests and surrendered the Silver Sorrows into our keeping. We've also apprehended the reformist's accountant and will be holding him for further questioning. Oh, boned an associate of the bloody executioners. You yellow jackets don't flinch for your duty. I'll give you that. And what's this I hear about you buying information, Captain? I thought you'd sooner die than associate with elements of the underworld. I will do what I must to stay ahead of this challenge, and what Musketeer's knowledge was vital to the case. 'Tis true I might find his practices distasteful, but he is no pirate. It is the fading era of piracy which I mean to consign to the history books, and that chapter will never be fully closed until every pirate spawn relic, including you and your guild, becomes a thing of the past. Valiant and forthright. These are the words by which the Yellow Jackets live. It is a manner in which we protect Limsa Luminza. I swore an oath to the graves of my sisters. No more shall the innocent suffer at the hands of these savage buccaneers, these unrepentant killers. A grand oath it is. Me, I've got my fumbles full just keeping the code intact. But the code is a kind of oath too, when you get down to it, and since I've sworn to uphold it, I've no intention of stepping aside and letting ye trample all over me and me coves. In fact, you'd be better off giving in now afore matters get proper serious. Just say ye sorry, admit defeat, and we'll leave it at that, eh? Your audacity knows no bounds. I am done wasting my words. I shall reclaim the last treasure, and then I will look on victoriously as your guild is dismantled brick by brick. Oh, that's the spirit, Captain. Just don't forget to keep an eye on them earrings. The city's crawling with rogues, you know. Ye could keep the sorrows in a bloody lockbox in the coral tower and look away for a moment, and one of me covels fight them beauties right back. Come on, quietly. Back to the sisters for us. Finish this off, boys, shall we? I think this is it. I think this is the final countdown. Final showdown. It's the final countdown. Well, after all the hard work, the shrews made off with the spoils. And as far as her damned contest goes, I suppose that makes us even. It'll be the last treasure, this black sarcophagus, that decides the victor. Whatever the reformists are doing to keep it bob, you can bet your gunman's teeth there'll be some blade work needed afore this job is done. Get yourself ready for a proper scrap, quietly. Here we go, boys! I was wondering when you'd show up, quietly. That bugger me if it don't look ready to mill an entire crew of sods ye by yourself. And bane that ye are, 'cause we've finally uncovered some hard facts about the last treasure. Won't be long now for we cloy the winning prize and put this daft challenge to bed. Alright, I've gathered the other coves for a meeting, so let's get down to it. At long bloody last, the black sarcophagus has been given up its secrets. Underfoot, you've some news for us. Aye, Jack. I think half of our trouble was dwindling to truth of it lay in calling this nasty thing a treasure. The black sarcophagus ain't no dimmer bauble. It's Mark L.I. Magitech mine, a bleeding prototype explosive that was bitten from the Imperial transport vessel. Shit. Huh. Even though it ain't that big, maybe the size of a small cargo box, they say the blasting could have enough kick to incinerate a bloody behemoth. Privateers coined the prototype en route, then, an experimental weapon. That explains why the theocracy was so bleeding eager to bid at the auction. And so reluctant to share the details with us. At least now we know the what, but there's still the question of the where. The Cures delivered their bitten goods to the reformists, that much is certain. What happened to the sarcophagus after that, though, we ain't so sure. There'll been no reports of huge explosions or the like, so either the executioners still have the mine, or they've peddled it to some other buyer. The reformist faction came together out their shared hatred for the Admiral and her ways. I'm guessing they didn't deploy the bomb just to sell it. What is it, Lonnie? A letter for ye, Jack. Says it's urgent. A letter? Who's it from? The old man. Found it while I was sorting through our daily deliveries. Let's see now. Come to Thalanos. I have urgent news. I've never known the old man to summon a customer. No one's seen him at his usual haunts for a while, so do you reckon this is some rum morsel he's dug up just for us? Aye, it could be. Quietly, you and me are headed to Thalanos. Thunderfoot, Keb, you to take another stab at pinning down the location of the sarcophagus. Got it. We go. I'm ready. They didn't kill him, did he? Did they? You wasted your time, darlings. You opened that Scrag's wrinkled throat bells ago. Ye cross the bloody executioners, and ye get what's coming to ye. Did ye like our message? We wasn't sure ye'd fall for it, but a little mystery goes a long way, eh? Aw, don't be like that, darling. Me and me mates didn't have much choice. When the boss says to go play with the rogues, then we gotta go play with the rogues. After all, we never asked ye to come ruin our game, now did we? And don't give me no long-winded speech about ye precious code. The reformists' vision stretches far beyond what them tired old rules is good for. Once Captain Asheber takes command of the executioners, It'll give us back the teeth we lost when we submitted to the Admiral's leash. We'll be the terrors of the sea once more, free to rove and plunder in a new age of pirates' glory. And I'll bathe in blood to see the age come to pass. I'll kick down ye shite, stinkin' code, and have all ye sneakin' eds on the chopping block. Like hells you will, the only sentence what's being passed today is years. Nice. Well, hello there, darling. Ain't you a fine-looking lad? I've heard all this prattle before. Free to pillage and plunder, is it? Aye, it's all sounds grand, but ye don't think of the price. That shite stinking code is the only thing what keeps you bloody coves from milling one another. Without it, without Limsa Lominsa to call home, you'd be adrift in an ocean of quadrants. And if ye so keen to keep company with the dead, I'll be sodden happy to oblige. Sigh, you are prettier with your gob shut, but I can see I'm out of my depth here. As much as I'd like to lop off your noggins, I have to satisfy with dragging the two of ye out into the wilds. To keep ye well out of the way, haven't I? Out with it then. Isn't it obvious you stubborn scrags is looking to swipe our new toy, and my job was to stall ye. The captain, as the mine wives with him right now, is set to show the rest of the executioner what he's got the stones to sit on the leader's chair. And that better way to do it than executing the bitch that snapped the chains on our crew. He's targeting Admiral himself. You're planning to blow up the command room, ain't ye? Aye, you have me permission to panic. Of course, if you'd rather steer clear of the city, I'd be glad to keep ye company here, sweet meat. Yeah. We've got this mad Mort at our mercy, but she seems to be enjoying herself. I better drag her back to the guild and see what other information she'll spill. Look at her laugh. I'll need you back in Limsa as well. But ye've business at the foremast first. Ye should find Captain Malala at her post there. Forget about the sodden challenge and tell her everything we know. Unless me judgment's well off kilter, she'll do what needs to be done. Oh. Oh, she blew me a kiss as they walked away. That's nice. I like that. We're gonna wait the 20 seconds for this to come off cooldown. Oh, you're one of Jack's rogues. You've come to steal the sorrows, have you? Well, you shan't have them. As you can see, they're safely clasped upon my very own. Huh? You're not here for the earrings? The Admiral, you say? And you're sure these fiends are in possession of this sarcophagus? I must deploy more sentries at once. Do not think this voids our challenge, rogue, and you can relay as much to your imprudent guildmaster. I suppose you can thank him for warning us as well. So, the jackets are on the move, then. I've been listening to the addled pirate cackle since I got her back to the sisters, but she's given us not what we didn't already know. And we know more than enough. I say we gather the rogues and go after the mine, afore it blows up in our muns. If the leader of the reformists is Captain Assistship here. I'm planning on milling the Admiral with a bang. Then my guess is he'll be aiming to demolish the entire command room. Me know the Mizzlemaste, the tower would holds the drowning wench and the bulwark hall. The Admiral's bridge and her command room are right at the top of that. Then we've got the district, which surrounds the mizzenmast. That's the busy, beaten heart of the city. Even with the threat of an attack, you can't just seal it up in the blink of an eye and call the whole thing Bob. Try to explain the danger to the Coles that live and work there. And then you'd have to frighten stampede mob on you fambles. Aye, lass, our only option is to have eyes snilchin every approach to the tower. I'll put the wid out to as many coasts as I can and spread them through the streets. Me job is to cover the after castle. Just wait and see quietly. We'll get this Ashish beer and his little bomb too. We'll get you Dorothy and your little dog too. All right, we go. Okay, so we got all the entrances covered. Look at the drunk dude. Oh, the fog picked a grand night to roll in thick. This'll make things interesting. Our presence on the streets is far too thin. Where are the reinforcements I ordered? My apologies, Captain. There just aren't any more soldiers to spare. The bulk of our forces have already been assigned to guard not only the Admiral, but the number of high-ranking personnel as well. Unacceptable. What could Commodore Raynor be thinking? There are dangerous criminals stalking the city as we speak. Call in squads from the outposts if you must, but we want to see our security tightened and populace properly protected. But Captain, we can't be certain the pirates are plans hasn't changed. We consider the possibility that they've switched to a target outside the walls. It would be folly to weaken those defenses. Humph. You made your point, Sergeant. Return to your post. Once all is lost, it is far too late to question what one should have done. You seem troubled, sir. Perhaps I can be of assist. Ah! I've been dying to meet you, lads. I keen to set eyes on the bold yellow belly, what cost our crew a fortune in Uldan coin. You're the executioner, one of Ashishibir's men. Ye've strayed too far into the world ye don't understand, lass. Ye eyes is fixed on the light of justice, leaving ye blind to the chasm opened up at ye feet. No, no way. Look, I didn't like her, but that didn't mean she needed to die. At least they'll say ye died with ye boots on. The yellow belly won't be bothering us no more, Captain. As for the mine, the lads'll have it primmed in front of the wench by the time ye get there. Good. Not long now afore we drag the bitch Admiral, her pretty little tower, and all her simpleton curs down to the bottom of the sea. Then I'll raise our flag on the ruins of the Mysian mast and lead our brethren to a return to the old ways of blood and plunder. No! Should not have had the last bottle. The whiff's ish gonna kill me. What's that then? Oh, she's still moving. Not after the common room. They mean to bring down the entire tower. If the mizzenmast falls, bridge will follow. Half the city will. But please, you must find me. The danger far greater than we. Bloody hells! It's alive! Oh, no, 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 no! I didn't shade enough. Didn't shade enough. Please, you must send word. Oh shit. Some must be told. How did you? The valiant and forthright weapon. Ye could hear the single pistol shot from miles away. Weren't hard to guess what happened. I poked the yellow jackets on me way over. A healer'll be along shortly. Then, that means we only have one last thing to do. We have never been allies, but I beg of you. You must stop them. Save the city. Aye, lass. Ah, lass. You know you don't need to ask. Taking down mad coves and biting back what has been bitten is our job. You all set then? Ready, Jack. Always. Let's go cloy the sarcophagus and fit Ashabir in a new coffin. Okay. Okay. I hate tracking down stragglers. Big. Let's take out one of them. You can't stop us now. Only 3 minutes until the show begins. What? What's that then? Find and smash the detonators up top. Quietly mill about them to the detonators. Okay, we go get the detonators. Come on, friend. This wasn't part of me plan. I could have been a king amongst them. Status report. The mine has been disabled, and the engineers should soon have it safely removed. Our soldiers sustained some injuries in the battle with the reformists, but none were fatal. Also, the Admiral sends her sincerest gratitude. Look, there she is. That's Captain Malala, the hero of Limsa Lominsa. Have you recovered from your wound, Captain? We heard how you very nearly lost your life stopping the horde of pirates from blowing up the mizzenmast. 3 cheers for the Yellow Jackets. Our city has been lost without ye. But wait, that's not how it... Sergeant, what of the rogues? Did they survive the battle? I don't rightly know, Captain. All we found near the sarcophagus were reformists, either dead or strung from the rafters. Alive, then. 'Twould seem we are deeply in their debt. Aye, Captain. Might I have the silver sorrows from you now? We've been ordered to hand them over to the Commodore, along with the black sarcophagus. Why, of course. They're right here. The earrings! I could have sworn it was still... He wouldn't have. He stole them from me while I was lay dying? That cad! I knew he was not to be trusted. Keep an eye on them, indeed. I should have known. Wearing the things. Are you sure about this, Jack? We should have employed the sarcophagus as well. I think she's earned it, don't you? If it bothers you that much, think of it as a trade. If you ask me, they look a bit daft. Well, I didn't ask ye. As for the jackets, ended up with mine, and we got the diamonds and the earrings, which means victory belongs to the Rogues Guild. Do you think Malala will leave it at that, then? I get a feeling we ain't done with her yet. I'd say we're done with her challenge, but you never know when our paths will cross again. We'll just have to see what Limsa's underbelly spits up next. Aye, this city ain't ever quiet for long. Well, it's been a pleasure working with you quietly. If you ever need a trusty pair of stabbers, by me side. I'll know who to ask. I'm off as well. Bloody starving I am. Don't forget to yaff a bite when you can. Hey, quietly? We'd best head back to the sisters too, before the shrew decides she'd rather hear us cry cockles. Then work quietly. Be seeing you soon. Whoa, he's gone. All right. the end of the story, guys. Oh, there, quietly. It'll be nice to have a bit of rest, eh? The job never ends, but even a dammer like meself needs to breathe every now and again. And ye venturing mates must be wondering where you've got to. That was a proper long assignment, and I'm glad ye decided to see it through. You've proven to be a stalwart protector of the code. Even if this ain't truly your world, when ye walk back into the light man's, you'll have to find ye own code to uphold. And when ye do, you'll have the skills ye learned in the shadows to help ye defend it. Well, that's more than enough prattle out of me. Ye travels might take ye far and wide quietly, but know ye are always welcome here at the Sisters. 13. Yeah, we might as well. Nice. Okay, and then this is the ninja. So we're not going to do that one. We're going to come over here and we're going to do our usual goodbye. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. I'm quietly. This was the end of the Rogues story, and it was a good time. I think this is probably my favorite story thus far. It was pretty exciting. So we'll see what the other stories have to offer us. In the meantime, check out the other job and class stories that I have on the YouTube channel, as well as I will be putting up recaps of all of the stories eventually on my other YouTube channel, so check those out as well. And reviews, probably. I might do reviews. Who knows? But anyway, I will see you next time. Goodbye!